Well, it had been teased out for a few weeks that there would be further details about things coming to the Wizarding World Ministry of Magic in Epic Universe in a live stream, essentially on the Harry Potter official YouTube account. And while I couldn't find the live stream, I'm not really sure if there was one, or I'm not really sure what happened. It's not currently available on their channel that I can see. There was a video that they released that had some further details about the Battle at the Ministry ride that is coming into the Wizarding World Ministry of Magic. So I figured let's watch it and take a look and react to it, because there is some more concept art, a few more details. Not a lot, but there is a few things that they dropped in this that are pretty interesting. So I actually had to go in and download it and take out the background music, because the Harry Potter music will always get hit with copyright. So we will watch it without the background music and talk about it. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic, and we'll just get right into this. This video is only like 4 minutes long. It's not very long.
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter has been part of Universal Destinations and Experiences for 14 years, and next year, fans will get even more magic to discover. For Back to Hogwarts, we wanted to celebrate by bringing fans details about the magic at Epic Universe.
We've continued to bring the storytelling to the next level, and this is just the next way we're doing it.
As you know, you'll be able to explore the streets of 1920s Paris, shop for beautiful new wands at Cosme Acajor, explore the wonders of Le Cirque Arcanu, and for the first time, fans will get to step inside the British Ministry of Magic.
Guests are going to walk through the Floo Passage and see the Ministry of Magic at its full scale, full glory.
I still want to know the effect that will be used for the Floo network. They don't go into it in this video, but I'm very curious about that, because again, that's just how you get into basically like the atrium or the queue here. So I'm really curious how they pull that off, how they do it.
Glory, full glamour.
The atrium is just an unbelievable space.
You'll see the Fountain of Magical Brethren statue restored to its rightful state, flying memos swirling through the atrium.
Flying memos, like how I'm very curious of like those aspects of it. Like, how are they going to do it? But they said you will see the flying memos coming through, so that's pretty cool.
And finally, you'll see the beautiful enchanted weather ceiling above you.
Okay, so they did say they're going to have that, because the other one, I mean, they showed it, but they didn't confirm it. But you will have the weather ceiling, which again, I'm very curious how that's going to look, how they pull that off. I'm assuming it's projection technology that they would use for that. But
this is the biggest thing that we've ever built.
It's here in the atrium you'll discover it's the day of the trial of Dolores Umbridge as you enter the new attraction, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry.
The scale and detail of this ride is truly epic. I think it's going to be one of the great rides in the world.
We experience scenes that...
Okay, there's some different concept art here. So it looks like, I'm guessing when you get on an elevator. Okay.
We experience scenes that we've
Very cool. Okay.
seen in the films, but also scenes that we've never seen before. Here in the locker room.
Okay, locker room. There you go. Obviously, this looks like it's just in the queue.
We see evidence that Harry, Ron, and Neville are in training to become Aurors.
I think fans are going to be most excited.
This looks very much like Hogwarts Castle for Forbidden Journey, a little bit in terms of like walking through it. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Excited for being able to encounter past ministers of magic in the Hall of Ministers.
It's so fun to see the eras of ministers interacting with one another, from 1700s Scamp to 1980s Bagnall.
I mean, that'll be cool, because they do that in some of the stuff now, but like you'd just be in a room where they're basically like talking to each other. I like that.
There's a map room that shows us
A map room. I do like that black with the green there. That looks really cool.
a magical moving map of the ministry.
You'll walk through the Aurors headquarters where you'll see them gathering information for cases. Here, the most discerning fans will find plenty of Easter eggs, including a tribute to fallen Aurors.
We get to walk through Umbridge's small, but
This is a lot of spots in the, I mean, this is all going through the queue, I'm assuming. So there's a lot of these elements inside the queue, which I'm assuming, I mean, they do this now on a lot of rides, which the queues are part of the storytelling. So I'm imagining that this ride probably will have pretty high wait time. So they're having a lot of stuff that you can check out in the queue, which does add to the storytelling and makes the queue more, I guess, not as boring. So, but that is a lot of stuff that looks like they have in the queues here.
extremely ornate pink and gold ministry office.
One of the really fun characters that
That almost looks identical to Forbidden Journey when you're around Dumbledore's office. like in terms of walk around. Now, I don't. They could also do. Maybe they don't have people in here, but they have that like hologram looking-ish technology for the actors that make them look more like 3D if they do stuff like that.
You're going to meet in this adventure is Higgledy, Umbridge's former house elf.
Higgledy is packing her office up in preparation for the trial.
And yes, of course, there are plenty of cat plates.
From
Cat play.
there, you move on to the lift station, and at the lift station, you board
Okay, lift station there.
these lifts that will carry you to the courtrooms for the trial.
Our ride is so technologically advanced. There are so many layers of elements.
This ride is unbelievably thrilling. Feeling the energy of these lifts as it careens through the Ministry of Magic, starting off in the lift shafts, but then eventually going off course and going through different departments of the ministry, face to face with different creatures, face to face with Death Eaters. It is a truly thrilling experience.
Yet again, that right there, what you're seeing is an animatronic, which is still insanely impressive.
In every facet of the word.
And not to give too much away, but you'll explore plenty of never before seen locations like the Ministry Archives and the Department of Magical Creatures.
Okay, Ministry Archives and Department of Magical Creatures. I'm curious how long this ride is going to be, like the ride itself. Obviously, there's anticipated a high wait time for it, but I am curious what the ride time is.
You'll see characters never before featured in an attraction like Yaxley, McNair, the Carrows, and Kingsley Shacklebolt. And we're so excited. Dame Imelda Staunton has reprised her role as infamous Dolores Umbridge.
She was absolutely brilliant in her performance. She got to take Umbridge to the extreme.
It's been a real pleasure for us to collaborate with Warner Brothers over the decades in bringing these fantastic Wizarding World stories to life. And I think fans are really going to be excited about our next offering.
The team at Universal are exceptional partners. We share the same vision and obsession for details that allows us to bring this incredible magical world together. We can't wait for fans to see this new era of the Wizarding World.
Okay. Well, that's basically all they shared about it. There isn't any more information that I could see that they talked about. Just a little bit more details about some aspects of the ride. Obviously, a lot of stuff in the queues there and a little bit of the story. Again, I am really curious as to the ride time on this. And it sounds like from what they're describing of like you're in these shafts and it goes off course, which does make sense in terms of what we've heard about the ride vehicles, which I think it was talked about by Alicia Stella in our Orlando Park stop, where it's basically using these Spider-Man and Transformer ride vehicles. So if you're familiar with those are able to do like can go much higher than they do on those rides in terms of like up and down. So I think that's probably rumored what the ride vehicle for this will be. Obviously, you're not going to be going up that high considering, it's going to be in a ride building, but it's obviously going to be a massive ride. If you think about one of the reasons we know it's going to be a massive ride is that there's only one ride in this land. All the other lands have at least 2 to 3 rides. So my guess would be the budget that perhaps was split into 2 or 3 rides per land. This one ride is eating up that entire budget, which would make sense because if we look at the construction pictures here of this area, so this is overhead construction, so it may be hard to see this, but right here where my mouse is, this is the actual land right here. This building back here is the ride building for the Battle to Ministry ride. And if we look at that, it might actually be bigger than the Ministry of Magic land itself. Like that is a massive ride building. So when they're talking about the atrium being like seemingly like full size, this massive ride. I mean, you can see here that this is a huge, huge ride. So I don't doubt them one bit when they say this is a, very advanced, one of a kind type of ride. And, really the size of it, I mean, you can see right here, not far from it is the Helios Grand Hotel. I mean, it's on the same almost scale as that, obviously not as tall, but I mean, it just gives you an idea of just how big this whole ride is in this land. I think that's something that a lot of people don't quite understand about it, which I have a lot more questions. Obviously, they shared some details here, but, I have a lot of questions on the ride time. Curious how the Flu network is going to look and operate. There's just a lot of very details about it that I'm really curious about how it's going to work and everything like that. But I'm excited about it. Obviously, there's not a whole lot else to talk about. Just some new concept art here and there. So not a lot of new details. It seems like stuff that they probably had in the original video that they came out with when they announced the Ministry of Magic land here, but they held some of it back to be able to use, I guess, for this Wizarding World, like the Back to Hogwarts Day. So I kind of was anticipating more details unless they come up with more things. But as of right now, there's a little bit more details here. And on some level, I was hoping maybe we get some sort of idea of an opening date, which I didn't really have a lot of hope that that's what they were going to announce in this, considering it was just about the Wizarding World. But as of now, we're still waiting on that news and all that. But that's going to be it, though, for this video. So if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Epic Universe, Universal Studios, Disney World, and pop culture news. And let us know in the comments what you think about the details that were announced in this video. And until next time, we will see you in the parks.